Anamika Aharwal, Associate Professor in the Department of Science and Technology at Jayoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. Today I am going to take the lecture on the topic Various Phases of Software Engineering. I have already discussed about the software engineering, needs of software engineering, and what are the goals of software engineering, why this is needed. But here I would like to tell you about why software engineering is needed. Uh, there is the term complexity, which can be divided into two parts, that is technical and project. If you are developing a project, there in the large project or small project, sometimes the developers shows the uh, complexity, some things which are very much complicated to understand, so the developers are not able to develop that thing which the client's requirement is. So it is basically divided into two parts, that is technical and the project. Okay. You see in this example, Wright brothers, and this is design, built and flew the world's first powered, controlled, heavier than air flight. So technically it should be important that you should aware about all the knowledge, all the technical perspectives, how to implement or how to execute your plan. So this is very much important to you, to all the related informations of this. Now this is an example. One chief designer, that is total knowledge, that you should be keep in your mind the complete knowledge of that thing which you will develop or which you will build. Okay. These all are the different examples. In this you see software engineering is needed due to technical complexity. So these all examples are very much complicated to implement. Okay, well, during execution there might be many issues when this will implemented, like the project launching. Okay, you see that sometimes the mission is not successful, right? So there is some type of complexity which arises during the session of technical part. Okay. So you see in in this graph, this is concept and preliminary design. First of all, you will design primary design, that is called the preliminary design, and then after you design the detailed, then after development, then production, and the use, phase out, disposals. You see in this graph, if from the very beginning, if you design correctly, then it's okay. Otherwise it is very much complicated during when moving to the next phases. Okay, so same for you see in this line also. So this is easy to change. Okay, and if you are seeing this graph, that means commitment to technology, configuration cost, etc. So this is rises. Okay, we this is not our parts to handle this. Okay, if the cost arises, we will have to hire or purchase that thing, because no option is there. If you see this graph, this is the specific system specific knowledge, and during the movement of the next phases, this goes to the higher. Okay, and if we are talking about the cost incurred, then you see this can be if from the very initial preliminary design, detailed design, then the production, and then this use phase. So this is all about this, why software engineering is needed for different phases. And the more systematic way, why we are using this, because we can use this what to say, during this development, it is a more sophisticated way. Okay, and better control of system development in including management of risk, changes, configuration, and the traceability of all levels, and operational and supportability aspects, in this effectiveness analysis, risk management, operational, that is maintainability, availability, safety, etc. So you need to ensure final product fully meets all user requirements. Okay, that's why we say that software engineering is important. Where software engineering is to be for all levels, like organizational levels for a project, and full-fledged software engineering in the organization level. And if we are talking about the subsystem level, that here we aim at all these levels. So for the individual also, system thinking, you can use this software engineering. Now come to the system engineering, that is emphasis on the top down approach. Second is the interdisciplinary approach. Third is the effort on more complete definition of system requirements, and the life cycle engineering approach. Okay, so we all focus on the system engineers what focus on all these points. Now, emphasis in software engineering on the top-down and the interdisciplinary approach. In the top-down approach, they look at the system from top, and they decide input outputs taking into account the super systems, and decide subsystems, that is down to lower level. And if we are talking about the interdisciplinary approach, it comes into the analytical approach is inadequate, and they capture the interaction between disciplines, exploit the synergism of these interactions. And another is the more complete definition of needs. In this complete definition of needs facilitates verification of system performance, minimize surprises at later stages. And if you're talking about the system cycle engineering approach, this is initial approach was design cycle. Later with design for manufacture approach, manufacturing cycle also included. And in this present thinking is to consider three life cycles, that is design, manufacturing and supportability concurrently, and the leading to concurrent engineers. Okay, so this is the life cycle engineering approach. Now come to the life cycle engineering approach. You see here design, manufacture and deployment. In the design phase, you see here first of all you need to collect all the information, then only you can design. So what are the needs basically? So first of all, conceptual and preliminary design should be ready. Okay, then after completing this phase, you need to develop the detailed design and the development also for that design. Okay, then after development, it is required for the production, or you can say construction. Okay, after construction, the product use, phase out and disposals, means give it to the client also, means it is ready for that. Okay, if we are talking about the manufacture, that means manufacturing configuration design should be cleared, and then apply some manufacturing operations also, so that it will complete the manufacture phase. Then come to the deployment phase. In the deployment phase, product support, configuration design and development should be considered in the deployment phase. Then after the product support and maintenance, means for this, if something is deployed, that means you already completed that thing. Okay, so it is important this deployment phase. Then the product support and maintenance. So for if after completing the project, as I told you in my previous sessions, that maintenance is also important after completion the software. Okay, then this is deployment, you can say deployment phase, and this is the utilization phase, you can say. Okay, then after the product life cycle, you see in this diagram here, identification of need and then the research output. In this you see there is a conceptual design, then come to the or you can say go to the preliminary design, then detailed design and development, then the production, constructions, utilization and support, phase out and disposal. Okay, so these are the identification of needs, and on the basis of these the research output is you know research output will get. Okay, so if conceptual design, then the output is what? System concept. If preliminary design, the output of this is subsystem design. Okay, if we are talking about the detailed design and development, means there is a component system which we are talking about that. Okay, for all these comes in the one category, you can say. And for the production, construction, that is the deployment phasing. Okay, then come to the systems engineering process. In system engineering process, the basic step is to define system objectives, is the user's need. This is very much important. What are the requirement of the user, or you can say the client. Then the establishment performance is of course necessary. This comes into the requirement analysis. And then establish functionality, means how this will function. So it should be very much important to clear the picture in your mind, or to analyze the functions, how to function this. Okay, then evolve design and operation concepts, that means design synthesis. Okay, then the select a baseline through trade-off studies, then verify the baseline meets the requirements, whether what you have done or developed, it will you need to verify that what you have done, it will get that output which you previously think or expected. So you need to verify those for, and this is important to meet the clients or customers or user requirements, or you can say needs. Then iterate the process through lower level traits, that is decompositions. Okay, then you see in this diagram there is input, and the input is what? In the requirement analysis, then function analysis, then design synthesis. Okay, they are both connected to each other. And then the system analysis and control, this or directly connected to the requirement analysis also. That this is you can say the cycle of the input for the process or for the product which you will develop. And for after this completion of the input phase, you will get the output. And for regarding the concept studies, system studies, preliminary design, detailed design, on the basis of this you will get the output. Then here you see in this diagram, this is the deployment phase, life cycle approach, and the system engineering. In the deployment phases, you see that what are the things which come in this deployment phases. In this conceptual design, preliminary design, detailed design and development should become in this phase. And if we are talking about the life cycle approach, means you should be maintain the development, production, deployment, operation, support, training, verification and disposal. These all comes in the category of the life cycle. Okay, and if you're talking about the system engineering process, that means in this the requirement analysis and function analysis, design synthesis, system analysis and control should be there, or comes in this category, you can say. And in between, the system engineering management is the center of point, you can say. So these all three things which are controlled by the system engineering management. Okay, so this interaction shows how to apply software engineering process to develop systems in life cycle approach. Okay, now E2 software management. In this you see these all are the phases, means in this is a baseline, means functional baseline, allocated baseline in terms of designs, product baseline in terms of built to specification. Then this is a life cycle planning. In this, drawing inputs from all the cycle activities and various development phases. Okay, and this is the integrated approach, means integrated team from system engineering and discipline specialist. So this is basically the center, and this all comes in the category of baseline, life cycle and integrated approach. So through these three, the um, this is controlled by this system engineering development. Okay, so thank you so much. This is all about today's session, and this session powered by digital version 2.0 Jayoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. Hope you are satisfied with my digital session. If you have any query, please mention in comment box. I will resolve it. Thank you.